Alright, today we are going to take a look at two different power delivery methods for my Panasonic Let's Note, which is a CF-SV8. So the first is going to be an original Panasonic brick, and it's worth noting that this isn't the brick that this machine shipped with. This is actually a Toughbook brick, but I believe it has the same specs. So this model, focus is being a bit of a pain. This is a CF-AA6373AJ2, which delivers 16 volts at 3.75 amps, or 60 watts. So it's just a plain Panasonic adapter, and I've got it hooked into my kilowatt here, which is fairly dark, I apologize, but it's currently pulling 0 watts, which is what you would expect. And then I'm booted into Ubuntu here, and I've got the power statistics panel up, and we can see that we are currently discharging at a rate of 3.3 watts, and the battery is currently at, I guess it shows here, 47%. So what I'm going to do is plug this in. So we'll get a charging indicator, and it now says charging at a rate of 1.8 watts. That seems kind of low. The kilowatt from the wall is pulling, looks like 34 watts. Oh, here we go. The rate has increased. Now it is up to 30 watts. So it's charging at a rate of 30 watts. All right. So I'm going to stop that, disconnect it, and then disconnect this. And then now I am going to compare this USB-C power supply. This is one of the little gallium nitride ones. The brand is RAV Power, and it is a model, where's the model? RPPC02, I think? Kind of hard to tell. Doesn't really matter. But this is rated at 61 watts. And then I have a USB-C to USB-C cable that is rated for 60 watts, allegedly. So, plug this guy in. It has a little indicator lamp. The kilowatt is reporting no power. And then let's plug in the USB-C. It's a little bit dark in here, I apologize. It clicks in. We have a charging indicator lamp. That is slowly climbing. Oh, 32, 33, 35. So that has settled at, 37. Yeah, between 36 and 37. And then for charging, let's see, give it a moment to update. Still just reporting 1.8 watts. There we go. So now it is charging at a rate of 31.7 watts. So that's actually a little bit higher than this guy. I'm not surprised that it's not going at the full 60 watts. You probably wouldn't want it to anyway for a battery this size. But what that tells me is that using a USB-C power supply on here, at the very least to charge it, is definitely going to work. And the reason I got this was that I just like the aesthetic here of the right angle USB-C adapter. It's just a little bit sleeker than the big, chunky, original Panasonic adapter. So I'm going to keep both, of course, but I only had one, and now I have two. So one can live on my desk, and one can live on my bag for whenever we get to travel again. So, yeah, there you have it. Charging at a full 31.9 watts. So it actually is getting 2 more watts than the original brick. Or rather than the Panasonic brick I have, so. Yeah, that's interesting. Real quick addendum to this. The reason I'm testing this in the first place is because when I initially plugged in the USB-C charger, I was booted into Windows, as I am now, and also as I am now, I was getting a little warning message that simply says slow charger. It of course doesn't really want to focus, but yeah, it says slow charger. And when you first plug it in, it gives you a warning saying your device could charge faster with an approved method or something like that. And it's still, oh gosh, it's awfully dark. It's still pulling about 36 watts from the wall. So when it initially booted, the wattage from the wall was kind of all over the place. It was as low as 5, and then it would bump up to 15 and 20, and then back down to 5, and here, now that I booted up, see, it just dropped down to 28. So it's doing a lot more wiggling around in Windows than in Ubuntu. So I don't know what's going on behind the scenes as far as power management is concerned. I don't think... Yeah, it doesn't look like I have any Panasonic specific power management stuff, so I don't really know what's happening, but Windows is not as happy with this thing as Linux is. It's wiggling around a lot between 28 watts and 30 watts, up to 35. You can get a good look at how much better it looks, though. What I'm going to try, though, is just shutting down. So now it's almost completely off, still some hard drive activity. There we go, off. And it is pulling, interestingly enough, 0 watts. So this thing will not charge. I really didn't see that coming. This thing won't charge when it's turned off. So I guess if I turn it back on, the second I turn it back on, it jumps back up. And then if I go back into Ubuntu, okay, so there, it's back up to 36, 37. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to suspend it. Now it's sleeping, and the charge rate has dropped to about 25, 26 watts. Oh, but it's slowly falling. 22, 23. So maybe it charges a little bit slower while it's in standby. I'm not really sure. There's a lot about USB-C charging, I guess, I don't understand still. So, yeah. It's just a little part 2 to this. Interesting.